Imagine a world without the internet, without smartphones, without even personal computers. A world where tinkering with circuits and building your own gadgets was the cutting edge of technology. In that world, there was RadioShack, a name synonymous with innovation, a haven for hobbyists, and a retail giant that shaped the landscape of consumer electronics for nearly a century. But like many empires, RadioShack's story is one of spectacular rise, followed by a dramatic and ultimately heartbreaking fall. This is the story of a 100-year tech empire that died twice. It all began in 1921, in the heart of Boston. Brothers Milton and Theodore Deutschmann opened a small retail and mail-order store selling radio equipment to the burgeoning amateur radio community. They called it RadioShack, a nod to the small rooms or shacks where early radio operators set up their gear. In the roaring 20s, radio was the internet of its day, a thrilling new frontier, and RadioShack was perfectly positioned to capitalize. The company weathered the Great Depression and World War II, shifting its focus as needed. In the post-war boom, RadioShack expanded, offering everything from hi-fi systems and tape recorders to components for the growing DIY electronics market. Their iconic catalogues became a staple in households, offering a glimpse into the future of technology. In 1963, Charles Tandy, a visionary businessman, acquired RadioShack, then on the verge of bankruptcy. Tandy saw the potential for mass-market electronics and transformed the company into a retail powerhouse. He understood the power of vertical integration, manufacturing and selling his own branded products. The late 1970s marked a pivotal moment. Tandy gambled big on the personal computer, launching the TRS-80, one of the first mass-market home computers. It was a massive success, catapulting RadioShack to the forefront of the burgeoning PC revolution. For a time, RadioShack was a leader in the PC market, rivaling even Apple. The 1980s and 90s saw RadioShack diversify its product line, venturing into cellular phones, satellite dishes, and a wider range of consumer electronics. However, they began to lose focus. While they were a pioneer in early cell phones, they failed to adapt to the rapidly evolving mobile market. Meanwhile, competitors like Best Buy and Circuit City were building massive superstores, offering a wider selection and lower prices. RadioShack's smaller, cluttered stores struggled to compete. They clung to their niche of electronic components and hobbyist supplies, but the market was shifting. The rise of the internet and e-commerce dealt a devastating blow to RadioShack. Consumers could now find a wider variety of products and better prices online, bypassing brick-and-mortar stores altogether. RadioShack's website was slow and clunky, failing to capture the online market. Internal mismanagement, a lack of innovation, and a failure to adapt to the changing retail landscape sealed RadioShack's fate. The company struggled to find a coherent strategy, bouncing between different marketing campaigns and product lines. They were stuck in the past, unable to embrace the future. In 2015, after years of declining sales and mounting debt, RadioShack filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The once mighty giant was reduced to a shell of its former self. Hundreds of stores were closed, and the company's assets were auctioned off. However, this wasn't the end. Standard General, a hedge fund, acquired RadioShack's remaining assets and attempted to revive the brand. They partnered with Sprint, aiming to turn RadioShack stores into hybrid mobile phone and electronics retailers. But this attempt at rebirth was short-lived. In 2017, RadioShack filed for bankruptcy again, this time for good. The remaining stores were closed, and the brand was left for dead. But in a strange twist, RadioShack found a digital afterlife. Retail E-commerce Ventures, REV, a company known for acquiring and reviving defunct brands, purchased RadioShack's intellectual property. REV relaunched RadioShack as an online retailer, focusing on e-commerce and even venturing into cryptocurrency. The brand, once synonymous with electronic components, was now promoting digital tokens and NFTs. This bizarre transformation left many wondering what had become of the beloved RadioShack. The story of RadioShack is a cautionary tale about the importance of innovation and adaptation. It's a reminder that even the most dominant companies can fall if they fail to keep pace with the changing times. RadioShack's legacy is complex. It was a pioneer, a cultural icon, and a vital part of the American tech landscape. It taught a generation about electronics, sparked countless imaginations, and played a significant role in the development of the personal computer. While its physical presence may be gone, its impact on the world of technology remains. RadioShack's story is a reminder that the future is always evolving. What was once cutting edge can become obsolete in the blink of an eye. The question remains, can a brand that was so deeply rooted in the physical world find a meaningful place in the digital age? Only time will tell.